It's been a difficult week for Jewish communities after a terror attack in Australia on the first day of Hanukkah. Hanukkah goes until next Monday, and synagogues are using the holiday to come together. Temple Bethel in Augusta held a latke-making and candle lighting ceremony Wednesday evening. The rabbi at Temple Bethel says while Hanukkah is a minor holiday in Judaism, it can be a fun one. On Sunday, the synagogue hosted its annual Hanukkah party, which included a Mensch Madness dreidel tournament. Organizers say these events where people can come together and celebrate are incredibly important to the community.
I think anytime we can bring the community together, it's really important. There's a small Jewish community here in Maine. It's important for us to be able to gather together and really, in the midst of darkness, celebrate the light and the joy that community brings. And that's really a message of Hanukkah, is to bring light to spaces and times that are dark.
Latkes, which could be described as a potato pancake, are typically eaten around the time of Hanukkah. They're often enjoyed with sour cream, applesauce, or sometimes both if you're feeling a little crazy.